So the big news in real estate this week is that the Fed lowered interest rates for the second time this year. And right now, interest rates are actually the lowest that we have seen in 3 years, which is a very good thing for home buyers. But it's complicated because what actually happened is the minute the Fed made this announcement, mortgage rates actually went up a little bit. Not a lot, but they shot up a little bit because there is always some speculation and I think a sentence that the Fed chair said kind of spooked the market a little bit. But again, it's all interpretation and it's really largely speculation. But this is a super interesting time. And I think the way to best explain it to somebody at home, why does sometimes things go backwards? But when it comes to lenders, if you think through like when you go to a restaurant, okay, the restaurant is going to buy the food and supplies at a wholesale price, right? And then they're going to charge you more. There's a markup and that's a retail price, but they've made your life easier. They've made the food taste better and there's convenience and ambiance and you don't have to do any dishes, right? So what lenders do is they borrow money based on the Treasury yield. So that 10-year Treasury number is what we really pay attention to in real estate. As that tends to tick down, so do mortgage rates, okay? And that is ticking down and that's why mortgage rates are going down. But if the Treasury yield is around 4.2 where it is now, then rates are 6.2, 6.4, right? And that's what we call the spread, the markup for you as the consumer, because the golden rule when it comes to finance is he who has the money makes all the rules, right? And if you're not sitting on the hundreds of $1,000s that you need to buy the house, then you have to borrow the money, which most people do. And we're in this gridlock situation, which is most likely not going to evaporate anytime soon unless something else happens. Okay, we've got, a lot of things going on at once. And the main thing that's causing what we call this lock-in is because most homeowners, I think the last statistic I saw was something like over 60% of homeowners have a mortgage rate that is 3% or lower. Well, there's still a big delta between a 3% mortgage rate and the convenience of not moving versus a 6% interest rate that we see today. And so sellers are sitting on record equity. We are looking at record sales prices. And so there really isn't this huge motivation for the majority of sellers because they're doing basic math and the math is not mathing in their favor. If they sell a house, they're also looking at a capital gains tax, right? There is some talk nationally that we could see the capital gains rates adjusted. That is certainly something that could help us get more inventory, because what I'm hearing from families is you might have a widow who's in a house that's too big for her, but she doesn't want to sell because she's going to be taxed, at a very high rate for her profit for this house that she's had for 20, 30 years. That's too big for her now. And so there are many families who could use a house that's bigger, but people are doing basic math and they're saying, well, for the math, I'd rather just keep what I have, even if it's too big. And so we've got that situation, which isn't going to work itself out anytime soon. And because the cost to borrow money right now is so expensive, we're seeing builders pull back. They don't want to take the risk because the last thing that they want to do is buy some land, build millions of dollars worth of, townhome is the model that we see because it's the way that you maximize this parcel of land by putting the most units on it at an affordable price for home buyers. And so you've got builders, especially local builders, right? If they make one bad decision, that could bankrupt their family for decades. So they are looking at the climate and saying, I'm out. But that doesn't help our math puzzle, right? We still have more buyers than sellers. But what we have right now in this time where we've got a government shutdown, we've got uncertainty. Investors don't like uncertainty. Home buyers don't like uncertainty because everybody's afraid to make a mistake that they can't recover from financially. we're talking about so much money that this isn't something that you get over in a month or two. This is years if you make the wrong decision. And so I truly understand the mindset of, I just have to wait for interest rates to come down. But if you're renting, what's going to happen is rent is going to continue to go up every year, as we have seen, especially in a popular place like Greenville. It's a great place to live, work, and play. Our economy here locally is still very healthy. Our real estate market is healthy. The latest data that we had come out from the Greater Greenville Association of Realtors is that 98% of houses are getting their list price. They're getting 98% out of 100%. Now, again, that is not speaking for every house, right? That is just the data when combined together for all of the sales in the market. That's what that looks like. I mean, do we see sellers do discounts of $20,000 and $30,000 and $50,000, and in some cases in the luxury market, $100,000 at a time? Yes, we are seeing that kind of price drop. But that is kind of normal for this time of year, especially if a seller is motivated not to carry this property into the new year. So again, I see it from all sides. I guess that's the reporter in me, that never goes away. I see things from all the different angles. But what I would say is that you've got to make the decision based on your right now and the market that we're actually in, not the market that you're hoping for. Because trust me, I wish I knew. I would tell you what to do. But our window is only 4 to 6 weeks. And I would say if you are looking to buy, this is a great time to buy in every calendar year because there are deals to be had. One of the biggest opportunities right now is new construction because you've got these big builders who have spec homes that they've borrowed money to build. And so they're wheeling and dealing and taking less profit so that way they can just have them off their books, right? This is the big fourth quarter push for these big companies, and they are dangling all kinds of incentives. Sometimes we're seeing $15,000 off or in the design center or move-in packages or blinds or appliance packages. These are all things that a first-time buyer, once they have that down payment, they're out of cash. And you still have to buy furniture and appliances and blinds, all the things. So this is an excellent time to buy, but you may have to make some adjustments if the interest rate, because this is the thing. The difference between a 6% interest rate and a 5% interest rate is hundreds of dollars in a monthly payment. And that is a big difference right now when we know the cost of everything is going up, right? The cost of groceries, the cost to travel to go see your family via airplane or gas. I don't know that I like the price of anything. I'm starting to get cranky in middle age. I've got some experience and I've seen some things, and I don't like the way the prices are changing, especially for cars, right? One of these days I'm gonna have to buy cars for the kids. But again, I understand, and I think that it's hard to get ahead. It's not gonna get any easier to save up a down payment because our wages just aren't keeping up with the way that prices are rising. So what I would say to anyone is perhaps make the adjustment and pick a different neighborhood or pick a fixer-upper, but find a way to capitalize on this opportunity, because what we've seen historically is when people wait for the interest rates to come down, there's even more competition because everybody feels good about buying again. And let me tell you, we saw in the frenzy of 2021 when interest rates were 3%, we were getting 40 offers for a house. And that's not fair either, okay? Nobody is rooting for that because then you have to have the most money, real liquid money, to go over the sales price or waive an appraisal or waive an inspection. And so I would just say, do the best you can when you can. Don't ever hesitate to reach out. It's never too early. I'll see you on the next video.